They might talk shit at the crib, but long as it stay at the crib and y'all just talking shit and don't nothing like actually happen, like they don't never like do shit to each other.
Well, listen.
It's all verbal.
They do, but it's cultural. We just don't know about it.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. When Joe Rogan, goddamn. And I know a lot of people don't like Joe Rogan, but when Joe Rogan was putting up them clips of who was doing who material, before the call-outs was happening, when George Lopez was going to throw somebody over a balcony, listen to me. Everybody say, well, they don't get gully like that. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Shit. They just can survive it. We can't.
Who the fuck knew George Lopez was Suge Knight? Suge Knight and Big Red is the only two motherfuckers I've ever heard doing some shit like that.
Damn. I nigga was over there like, what?
Yep. Somebody doing his material, we're going to throw him over a balcony.
God damn.
Real grown man shit.
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't do that. I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad he didn't do that.
Mess up your freedom over a temporary misunderstanding.
Hell yeah.
Right? The joke thief has got to steal for the rest of his life because he doesn't know how to create a right, or she doesn't know how to create a right.
Yo, shout out to Cheryl Underwood, man. I've been watching a lot of her interviews lately, and she has been spot on, right? She for a black woman to be in comedy 20 plus years and have to go through some of the things that she went through, I am impressed, especially for her to be able to voice her opinion and tell her side of the story. Because a lot of times you only get one side versus the other. But listening to this clip made me realize the narrative of white people don't, give each other a hard time in the comedy business is not true. Latinos, Asians, Indians, like all comics are sensitive. All comics are very passionate about their craft, especially if they're trying to do it at a high level, right? If they're trying to do it at a high level and someone's stealing jokes, nigga, I gotta see you. I gotta see you because it takes hard-earned work. It takes experience. It takes skill to come up with these jokes that makes multiple races laugh. Because it's not just, of course you got those comics that are one-sided, that blacks only talk to the black crowd. Whites only can do well in white rooms. Asians can only do good with a bunch of Asians. Like, those comics exist and we know that. But for Joe Rogan to have the balls to go on stage in front of a live audience and have it recorded, shout out to Red Band for recording it, but to have the footage and to bring something to light that people had no idea was going on. Like, you don't understand how easy it is for somebody to hear your bit and then go on the road and now start doing your bit because you're not on the road with them. They're not recording all of their sets, so you don't know what they're doing. Even inside some of these venues down here in Austin that you can't get into, you don't know if someone heard that, wrote that down, said, I'm going to fucking remix that and put that in my set, and you can't get into the club to be able to see them on a regular basis. It happens. I never knew George Lopez was hanging a nigga over the balcony. That's the type of shit that I would do. Ain't no way you gonna take my intellectual property and then try to pass it off as your own. And it happens a lot. On every level, it happens a lot. I heard Scruncho was called by Cat Williams and was like, yo, this nigga up here doing all of my jokes and he doing your jokes. It happens. It fucking happens. There's a comedian in San Antonio that does LeVar Walker's joke. And the person believes because you're not as versed in comedy that you won't know a bit that happened in 97, 2000. But if you are a comedy connoisseur, you've listened to many a sets, you would be like, immediately when you hear the beginning of the joke, you'd be like, nigga, you might not even know whose joke it is, but you'd be like, who the fuck? And I'm the type of nigga that'll approach you because I would rather you know that I know that you are stealing something. I want you to be aware, and maybe it doesn't matter, right? Maybe you'll continue to do it because I'm not always in the same room as you. You're going to be out there doing shows at bars. You're going to be doing shows at bar mitzvahs. So yeah, you can possibly say those jokes consistently. The comedian was like, oh, well, I'll take that joke out of my arsenal. But then I heard another comedian tell me he did that shit 2 days ago. White boys be furious with other white boys. Anthony Jeselnik does not like Tony Hinchcliffe or Rogan. He thinks they're hack. He says it publicly. Now, do some of the white boys stick together? Absolutely. Adam Sandler. And Adam be hooking up all races. Shout out to Adam. He's not the best stand-up, but Adam is respected in the industry. That's just what it is. And there are black comedians that put on for certain people as well. You just don't see it. You don't see it in real time. And they're not the type that's going to be out there broadcasting it. But you got also people that are trying to suppress people. I think when Cat Williams said all of that thing, the black community was like, oh man, you making us look bad. No, nigga, the people that are doing the negative shit are making y'all look bad. And you not calling out the bullshit because you're afraid of the opportunity that you might miss tells me that you will let anybody do anything just because you want to have an opportunity to get ahead. I don't give a fuck. My talent is going to speak for itself. And something that someone has an upper hand on me now is not going to have the same upper hand in 4 years or 5 years. What you afraid of, nigga? You might not get booked. If you're not getting booked, create your own opportunities, my nigga. Figure it out. It can be done. You just got to understand how to do it. There's a ton of jokes thieves out here. You got people that have been on the road with other comedians and are stealing jokes. Here's an example. I called this one dude out, and the core group of who he hangs out with, they did not like the fact that I called out their big dog. One dude said he wasn't booking me at a comedy club simply because it hurt his feelings that I talked about one of his friends. Not the fact that I need to check my friend and let my friend know, oh, yo, you stealing jokes, bro? We can't have the city be known for stealing jokes. No, it's like, let me point out the nigga that pointed the shit out. Now the city is known for joke stealing. That's not a good fucking reputation for a comedy city. Because now when comedians come into town, it's like, I don't even want to do jokes here. Here's the thing. The comedian that stole the joke from somebody in the 90s or early 2000s, this nigga showed up to his show that just came past last weekend. The joke stealer came to the show of the person he stole jokes from and was in the crowd. And I was like, this nigga about to steal some more jokes. Ain't that fucking crazy? You steal a nigga jokes and then you come to the nigga show with a pad and be like, ain't nobody in here, so ain't nobody. I don't get it. But you have no integrity. What kind of human being are you? So shout out to Rogan for calling motherfuckers out. Shout out to motherfucking Joe Lopez to be like, yo, I'm going to beat this nigga ass for stealing my shit. You should get your ass whooped. If a motherfucker come in your house and steal some shit out of your house and then leave, either you're going to call the police or you're going to handle that shit yourself. Period. So don't believe the hype that white people don't be going after their own people for doing fucked up shit, because you see that in real time. Don't think that the Indian comedians is not going to call out. Like the one dude that had a whole made up fucking joke about being bullied and being racially profiled for being Indian. That nigga made all that shit up. And the Indian community was like, nigga, we do not fuck with you. You lying and trying to get sympathy. And that nigga been quiet ever since. He was on Netflix and some old shit, but the motherfucker now is quiet than a bitch. You do wrong, you should be called out by your people and anyone else. Figure out how to be a good person, nigga. Because there's a lot of fucking fruit. There's a lot of how do I say this? There's a lot of comedians without integrity in this business. From open micers all the way up to headliners. And that's just the name of the game. So, hopefully y'all like this video. Shout out to Cheryl Underwood for the clip, 85 South. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll get with y'all the next time. Shout out, man. Shout out to Joe Rogan for doing that shit, bro. That shit was crazy. And then to find out that Carlos Mencia was like, yeah, bitch, if I'm in the back of the room, I'm definitely going to steal your joke, and I'm going to put Mexican in front of it and make it a hit.